So this is one of those videos where I say, you know, don't shoot the messenger. But the topic of this video is going to be the judges for the WBA Super World WBO Ring Magazine, 147-pound super fight between Floyd Money Mayweather and Emmanuel Dapper Manny Pacquiao. And then we're going to talk about the referee, Kenny Bayless. Now, Dave Moriarty, Bert Clements, and Glenn Feldman are the judges. And all three of those judges have have judged a Floyd Mayweather fight or a fight that inadvertently had an effect on Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. I'm going to explain. And remember, the whole purpose for this is for you to go do research for yourself on the judges and the referee, and you come up with your own, opinions on it. So I'm just reporting the news. And when it comes to the first judge, Dave Moriarty, how he equates to Floyd Money Mayweather is on May 3rd, 2015. No, excuse me, May the 3rd, 2014, Floyd Money Mayweather took on Marcos Maidana in what at this point in time has been Floyd Money Mayweather's toughest fight in his career, and Bert Clements scored the fight 117-111. Now, widespread media belief was the fight was a lot closer. So despite what the judge may have scored it, despite if you think Floyd Mayweather won, the fight should have been a draw, or Floyd Mayweather lost, 117-111 was a bit far-fetched, 9 rounds to 3. But to his defense, Bert Clements did score 115-113 for Timothy Bradley over Diego Chavez, in which that's Timothy Bradley's draw on his career. Moving on to the next judge, Dave Moriarty. Dave Moriarty is a well-recognized judge, and I'm sure you've heard his name plenty of times. But how he equates is he had Timothy Bradley losing to Juan Manuel Marquez. And I remember he was under a lot of scrutiny for that. Hold on. My bad. And it was one more fight. Let me check for you. Let me check. It was one more fight that I'm sure you all saw, and we saw too. Oh, the Mauricio Herrera versus Jose Benavidez, where widespread media belief was that Mauricio Herrera was winning the fight and should have won the fight, but Dave Moriarty had it 117-111, 9 rounds to 3 for Jose Benavidez. So now I'm asking myself, judges make mistakes all the time. This is not a sport where everyone's going to see things differently. Remember, judges don't have a monitor where they're seeing, action from all different angles. They're on 3 sides of the ring, and they're seeing it right there. Some things can be obstructed by the referee or whatever the case may be. So if a person's back is to the corner, how can a referee, who's sitting on that left side, see what's going on in that far right corner? So I guess what I'm saying is this. Let's go to Glenn Feldman. Glenn Feldman most recently scored Lucas Matisse versus Ruslan Provodnikov 115-113. But then he was also responsible for basically the knockdown that Peter Quillin should have had, but he scored it 10 rounds to 9, and basically ultimately caused the draw. And Peter Quillin, basically Peter Quillin didn't get the win, even though he wouldn't have got the belt from Andy Lee. And I guess what I want to say now is, let me make sure I'm right, because remember, I covered all these fights, but I had to do some deep research here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we talked about that. So, so basically what I'm trying to say is this. When it comes to the judges in this type of situation, with all the work that Marcos Maidana was doing in that fight, and just to get a 117-111, that's one judge right there that makes me think to myself, okay, Manny, Marcos Maidana threw 800, 900 punches, close to 900 punches, and landed what about 230 or whatever the case may be. But no matter what, still, all that judge could give him was 117-111. So that's one judge right there where I'm thinking to myself, Manny's got to knock him out. Now, when it comes to the Timothy Bradley versus Juan Manuel Marquez and Glenn Feldman, was that Glenn Feldman? Let me check. Yeah, that was Glenn Feldman. Glenn Feldman, even though Timothy Bradley was doing a lot. Timothy Bradley was outboxing. I'm talking about Timothy Bradley put on his best boxing performance of his boxing career when he fought Timothy Bradley. So to give Juan Manuel Marquez the 115, 113, I'm thinking, well, what did he do? And what I'm saying is, who will that benefit most? Will that benefit Floyd Mayweather? You know, because Floyd Mayweather may not have to do much, and Pacquiao could just be hitting him and moving, sticking and moving. But will Glenn Feldman see that? So, like I said, looking at that is something, you know, that can be questionable. Now, when it comes to Dave Moriarty, the whole Jose Benavidez, Mauricio Herrera thing is a little bit suspect. But also, if you look at the fact that, well, when you look at the activity of Mauricio Herrera against Jose Benavidez, Dave Moriarty is the same guy who gave Canelo, you know, the win over Erislandy Lara. So these are the type of things, ladies and gentlemen, where you need, like, for a fight like this, you need to do research, and you really need to check out the records and the backgrounds of these judges. Like I said a long time ago, one of my biggest concerns in boxing is judges are not sequestered, boxing judges. And when I say sequestered, they're not put somewhere in some secret location. They could be walking around in Walmart or something, and you can say, listen, do me a favor real quick. Here go 20 G's. You know, an extra 20 G's, because the referees, Dave Moriarty, Burt Clements, and Glenn Feldman, they're both being paid $20,000 each. Now, you would think $300 million, $400 million, Mayweather Pacquiao is going to make. These guys are making that in one night, yes, but then they judge and cover so many fights. So, you know, what is it really worth? But at the same time, I think to myself, well, what stops a boxer, a manager, or somebody becoming close with one of these judges and saying, listen, man, hook us up, and you know, we need to make sure we get these people in these seats for these to sell these tickets. Like, what, you know, stops these judges from being approached? I'm not saying it's happening, but we know it's happening. So when it comes to Kenny Bayless, now my thoughts on Kenny Bayless is this. I'm not going to say he's a pro-Floyd judge, but at the same time, he's a pro-Floyd judge. I mean, not that judge, referee. Now, if Floyd Mayweather starts doing all that clinching and everything, for example, when Manny Pacquiao was trying to get close and work on the inside with his 67-inch reach, what happens when Mayweather ties Pacquiao up and does the forearm? Will Kenny Bayless be given warnings, or, you know, will his warnings be stuff like, okay, Floyd, you know I'm not going to take a point, but, you know, I got to warn you. And I gotta warn you again, and then I gotta warn you again, and then I gotta break up and say, warning, Floyd, you know. So how long will he let it, like, go on? Put it this way. Manny Pacquiao has to go for the knockout. Manny Pacquiao has been knocked out in the worst possible way that a fighter can be knocked out, and I've said many times is, well, you think he's gonna go in there to try to box Mayweather? I'm looking at it like this. The judges, if I feel from looking at the history of certain judges, if I feel that Manny Pacquiao needs to go for the knockout, and that there's a good chance no matter what you do, that one judge won't be on your side, and all it takes is one judge, you know, to screw you over, you got to go for the knockout. There's so much more to talk about during my Google Hangout. You know, like I said, guys, if you don't know, if you haven't been following me, I've been really resting up, making sure I'm doing the right thing, you know, eating clean, you know, like drinking H2O and stuff like that, because I want a flawless Friday and Saturday night. This is the biggest fight in boxing history, and I want to make sure I'm ready. As you notice, I haven't had a voice for God knows how long. I found out I got to get my tonsils taken out as an adult, so it's going to be like 3-week recovery time. We're going to do that later on, you know, like in the summer. So, you know, just bear with me. I still got loads of Mayweather Pacquiao content coming that I haven't had to upload yet, but it's not about being first. It's about making sure we're putting out quality content to make sure it backs up what we say. And next, we're working on making sure we're getting you the content first. I am T-Street Controversy with RealCombatMedia.com. I cover every single major fight live. The judges Burt Clements, Dave Moriarty, and Glenn Feldman, referee Kenny Bayless. Right now, it's looking like the odds are stacked against Manny Pacquiao as far as if the fight goes to the cards. And I'm not just the only one saying this. We'll just have to see how this plays out. Please subscribe. Please share. Also visit RealCombatMedia.com. It's the first link in the description box. We're doing a poll on Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Mayweather by KO, Mayweather by decision, Pacquiao by KO, Pacquiao by decision. Of course, many don't want to believe it because of the skin color for some reason, but I'm going with Pacquiao. What's wrong with that? I'm going with Manny Pacquiao. I'm not just bullshitting around. I got Manny Pacquiao winning. We'll have to see, because you know why? I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here Saturday night, right after the fight, to take all of your criticism. I'm going to be doing my post-fight video. I'm going to be uploading the highlights to the fight. Then I'm going to be doing a Google Hangout, take a break, and then do another Google Hangout. T Street Controversy Live.